Hello everyone. So in this video, I want to talk about what the Divine Feminine is actually going through on this process to really align to Divine Union template. Because the Divine Feminine, she's really going through a big transformation, and the Divine Feminine is restoring her feminine energy in all ways. So this is part of the journey. And part of the journey is to really reclaim and restore her womb and sexual power. So I want to get more into that because all of us are going to go through this process, and all of us are going through this process, which is reclaiming our true divine feminine energy, divine feminine power, and really reclaiming our womb, our sexual energy. And so this can look like differently for everyone. So what you will be experiencing through this process is really the clearing out of the old. And so in order to come into divine union, which is a very pure divine template, you have to clear everything from the past. And so these are old past connections, past partners, and everything that, you've experienced in the past. Let's say all these other relationships you've had. You have to clear out all those relationships to really come into the alignment of divine union. And so we're reclaiming our womb power, our creative power. And this is linked to the sacral chakra. And a lot of you will have a lot of the sacral chakra activation, where there's a lot of healing that happens in the sacral chakra to restore your womb, which is connected, and your sexual power, your creative power. Because we cannot manifest, abundance. We cannot manifest all these things when we have all our creative centers blocked. And so this is the problem, and this has been the problem for women, is that their creative energy, their creative life force has been blocked. And so this is what the sexual disempowerment comes from. This is where women feel very sexually disempowered, and they're very disconnected with their womb. And so the womb is another, very intelligent part of our body. And so this is, if you are a male and you're the divine feminine, you're also going to be going through a process of clearing out your lower chakras. You don't maybe have a womb, but you still have your lower sexual energies that are being worked through. And so as we receive these higher consciousness energies into the grid, and this is really the mother energies are coming in very strongly. And so divine mother is that energy that we have been missing on this planet. And so what has been happening is we've had this distortion on the feminine energy, and we've had a lot of this distortion on the feminine, keeping women very suppressed, out of their sexual power, out of their creative power, and not truly in their magnetism. And really the restoration of the womb, clearing out the womb so that you can really have a womb that can create, that can manifest. And so this is very, very important for the divine feminine to truly come into her power. She has to do a lot of this womb clearing and cleansing and restoring her sexual energy, her sexual power, her sexual life force. Because we have been so much in this energy of shame around our sexual energy, and we've had a lot of sexual distortions. Of course, we've had a lot of gender distortions, which is, all of these distortions on our body. And this is what's keeping women in this place of disempowerment. And so the divine feminine, she's really going through this activation in her lower energies. And this activation can look like different things for you. So we go through a process of celibacy, for instance, on this journey. We go through a process of clearing out the sacral chakra, where there's a lot of purging, a lot of releasing, and a lot of sensations that you will feel in the lower chakras. And so part of also what I help women with is really to help them with their womb and with their womb restoration. And so this is part of what I also had to do on my journey, and to really clear out my womb, my sexual power, restore my sacral chakra, This is so important to come into your divine feminine energy, because your womb will start to actually activate, and it'll start to reconnect with your heart, because your heart and your womb will become like one chakra. And so you will have this beautiful intelligence of your womb, but then you can feel so much more in your womb, because it'll open up, and you're going to feel a lot more than you did before. And so we have these sacral chakra blockages that a lot of you, I know, are going through, or a lot of you are working through. And this is part of this restoration of your sexual energy and sexual power. And this is what's, been really missing on the planet, as really the divine feminine has been missing. This divine feminine archetype, or this divine woman, has been missing, because we've been so much under this suppression, and under the suppression of this lunar woman, this moon energy. So now the moon is restored. From my understanding and from what I've been sensing, is that the moon is no longer, trying to manipulate, because it was harnessed to sort of manipulate that feminine energy. And so this is now being restored, as far as I know, that the moon is not being used for this, to distort women anymore, and women are reclaiming their true divine feminine energy. And so some of you may be going through really intense activations down there, where there's a lot of pain, maybe during the menstrual cycle, maybe just a lot of purging, a lot of discomfort. A lot of that is to do with the restoration of the divine feminine energy and divine feminine power. And so the womb is being reclaimed. You're really going through a process, or you're being asked to go through a process of celibacy, keeping your energy to yourself, not sharing your energy. You're going through a whole transformation to come back into divine union template. And so you can actually hold this frequency. And in order to do that, you have to release all the energies from the past, which are linked into these lower chakras, which are linked into your womb. And this is what really we're releasing through this journey and process. And as you're doing that, it can feel very painful, very uncomfortable. It's a lot of different symptoms you can experience. Like I said, from a lot of pain, a lot of emotional stuff could come up, or you could be releasing past sexual partners that you've had, intimate connections with. You could be releasing those as well from your subconscious. And that could be linked to the sexual power reclamation and reclaiming and restoring your womb. And that's also one of the reasons the divine feminine is really kept in this sacred container, or away from, other male partners. If you're not with your divine masculine, you're going to be really kept away and protected from a lot of these, from a lot of the men, because a lot of them are still in this distorted energy, and you're really being protected from that, or any kind of connections with other males. Of course, if there is a soul contract, that will be honored. But if not, then most of the time you're going to be kept away. And this is where the celibacy comes in, and you're just going to be kept in this beautiful container and protected by the divine, so that you can go through your feminine reclamation and restoring your true divine feminine essence. And there's so many changes that happen in your womb. There's so many changes that happen to restore your sexual energy and sexual power. It's really quite beautiful, the way that we're blossoming on this journey, and we're really restoring everything. Like, we're reclaiming everything to come back to this newness, to almost to rebirth ourselves, because everything's being restored back to purity and back to, sort of like your divinity before you had all these sexual experiences, maybe not used your sexual energy in the right way. Maybe there was, you were not in your power, and you sort of exploited that and allowed men to use your sexual energy. So there's a lot of imbalances that we're restoring as we're reclaiming our divine feminine energy and power through this process of restoring our sexual energy. So remember that this can be a process where it's not uncomfortable as you're clearing out those lower chakras, as you're clearing out any of those lower energies that are still there, that still need to be processed. So this is a process where you will be releasing a lot of that density and a lot of the things from the past timelines that are linked to your sexual energy, sexual partners, reclaiming, restoring your womb, and coming back to the divine feminine energy archetype rather than being in this lunar woman energy that we have been on this planet, which is also the dark feminine. So we're releasing all of that to truly come into our embodiment of the divine feminine, the healed feminine, the healthy feminine, the feminine that we have not had on this planet because we've been in such a distorted feminine energy. So we're reclaiming truly what it means to be a divine feminine and our true divine power and our magnetism. That's what we're reclaiming and restoring. So if you need more help and support on your journey and your process, I also have my Divine Feminine series on Patreon because I want to help the Divine Feminines on this process, and I'm going to be posting more on Divine Feminine and just Divine Feminine healing and restoration, and just to support the divine feminines on this path. So I do have a lot more content on Patreon. I do have my courses, and all of my links are in the description. And of course, you can book a session with me as well. And I send you lots of love. And just remember that this is a process that we are all going through. And with all the light coming in, this is a natural part of the process that we're going through to restore our divine feminine energy and power with the shifts that are happening on the planet. So sending you lots of love, and I will connect with you in the next video.